Okay, calling personnel meeting to order. Roll call.
Mr. Richards?
Present.
Ms. Dominguez?
Present.
Mr. Westmoreland?
Present.
Mr. Toler?
Here.
Here. Okay. No, no. Okay.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Superintendent Stilley, members of the committee, and other board members present. Today we have item A, recommendation for your approval for various administration positions. First, we have Angela King Corcoran being recommended to be the assistant principal O.W. Dillon Elementary, Kelly Fontenot, assistant principal for Chesborough Elementary, Jennifer Brister, assistant principal, Spring Creek Elementary, Rosetta Harrell, assistant principal for Kentwood High School, and Giselle Shabazz, assistant principal for a Meet Westside Middle. Before we discuss this, just would like to remind you that all provisions of Order 866 for the administrative positions being recommended were followed, which included properly advertised as outlined in the court order. Applicants were screened as outlined in the court order. Qualified applicants were reviewed and evaluated by a committee as outlined in the court order, and individuals have been properly notified by notified of the recommendation made by the superintendent. We submit these names for item A for your approval and recommendation for full board.
Okay.
I move to adopt the recommendation of the administration.
I'll second.
All right, it's been motioned and second.
Could,
Any question?
do you mind telling us a little bit about these people, please?
I think Ms. Stilley will have some information about that for you.
Yes. So our first applicant, or our first recommendation, is Angela King Corcoran for O.W. Dillon. There were about 12 applicants for the O.W. Dillon position. Ms. King Corcoran had unanimous support from the committee. She also has a double master's degree, 2 master's degrees, and she has served already in our district as a school curriculum coach lead and also a district level coach. She's currently a teacher who working with special education population at Independence Elementary School in our parish. So that's Angela. Miss Kelly Fontenot is, Chesborough and Spring Creek were the only 2 schools in the whole parish that never had assistant principals. So we had issues when principals were away at principal meetings and things like that. There's no really assistant there to assist with even evaluation of teachers. So Kelly Fontenot, in that position for Chesborough, they had about 16 applicants. She had unanimous support from the committee. All 4 committee members saw that, she was a standout for the position. She's currently at Chesborough. In fact, I think most of her career has been, I think all of her career has been at Chesborough Elementary School. And she's currently serving in that role of a lead teacher, which she leads collaborations, looks at the data with teachers, and takes on a lot of other leadership type roles at the school. She's also National Board certified, which we have very few teachers in our parish that have that certification, National Board. Jennifer Brister is the recommendation for Spring Creek. There were about 15 applicants for that position. Jennifer, like Kelly, has kind of been the lead teacher that the principal has leaned on, like if she has to be away from the school. She served in the leadership role, doing a lot of administrative type things to assist the principal, like leading collaborations and looking at the data for the school. And she's also served has worked in other schools on the northern end of the parish. I think O.W. Dillon being one of them. Then we have Ms. Rosetta Harrell, who is being recommended for Kentwood High School. There were 6 applicants that received marks from the committee. Ms. Harrell received unanimous support from all 4 committee members. She's currently a teacher at Laranja Middle School. She has served as like master teacher, curriculum coach, leader in other parishes, but not here. Has moved here, worked in the charter schools in the New Orleans area. Then she was in Texas for a while and has served in some leadership positions there. And so prior experience with that. And then Ms. Giselle Shabazz, who is recommended for AMET Westside, is currently a master teacher, curriculum teacher, leading collaborations and things like that at Greenville Park in Hammond. There were about 6 applicants that received, some type of support from the committee, but she was unanimous across all 4 committee members. And she has served previously, or is serving now, in a master teacher, curriculum coach position. So the committee, the interview committee, saw all 5 of these individuals as unanimous support, and there was nothing that was in either their degrees or their experience or anything else that would justify going against the committee's recommendation on this. So I actually agree with the committee's recommendation or their standout that they have chosen here.
I have a question. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. That's a lot of information we like to hear. And I'm really happy to see that we have so many applicants. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
That we're having a lot of people that want to be in our leadership roles, so I appreciate that.
Ms. Simmons?
Ms. Simmons?
Okay, and the racial,
So we have 3 whites that are recommended for assistant principal and 2 black applicants.
Okay.
2, yeah.
and
So
then
3
the
total.
last point is, you'd mentioned assistant principal at a couple of those schools. I don't think La Ronge Elementary has had an assistant principal, not by title.
They have one. They have one.
They didn't.
I think it was last year or the year before, we
I
advertised.
mean, the real title or
Yes.
just serving as one?
No,
That was the first one then? Yeah, who is that? You remember? La Ronge? Yeah, okay.
yeah, she's official title assistant principal.
So that's the first year okay.
Well, I think last year,
Last year, I mean.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
Nope.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Ready to vote? No opposed?
Are we voting online or no?
Are we? Are we
Are we
voting
voting?
online? Okay.
I was waiting.
Online voting?
Online voting is open.
My problem is I am not. Yes. No, I don't need help. I just, yes.
Oh, yes, okay.
I don't know if it's a conflict, but
Passes.
it's not gonna be a big deal.
Okay.
Okay, one question on that while we're still on that topic. The master teachers or the positions that they had, lead teachers, were those positions have to be also filled now? Or are those not going to be a position anymore? Of the 3 that you mentioned were actually a lead teacher or master teacher somewhere?
Well, at Spring Creek and Chesbro, those positions would not, that's not a vacancy. That's just a role they were playing to help out the principal.
Okay, that's what I was.
In the case of Ms. Shabazz, did I say that right? I'm not looking at the paper. At Greenville Park, she's serving in the role as a curriculum coach or master teacher. And so the principal could decide if they want to fill that vacancy or use that position as another teacher or whatever at their school.
Okay.
That's
Now,
just one.
The other question I had about them were, since there wasn't an assistant principal and we're adding that, then that'll reflect in our budget, right?
Yes.
Because that
in our
has to be approved.
Next year's budget.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I know that since it wasn't in the budget, we'd have to approve that budget.
Yes, we definitely had Mr. Schneiderbach in the conversation in our executive meeting before we even advertised to make sure that we could include that in our
Approve that
budget.
budget, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
You got one? Yes. 2, consider approval of the 2021 administrative contract renewals. Yes.
say something?
So you mean to say something?
Yes, say something.
I don't have this paper with me.
Oh, you don't
Okay.
have the paper,
apologize.
okay.
Can I say something?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just for reference, the public and the board, is that these contracts are every 2 years. And so the process is that we have their immediate supervisor write a letter to us and HR if they want to renew the contract another 2 years, and that's based off as well their performance and their evaluation and so forth. So that's the process, and once their supervisor, their immediate supervisor does that, we bring it to the board for renewal for another 2 years.
Okay, so have we been given yes, can I ask now? Is there a list of the ones that have not been renewed?
There were no administrators that or contracts were due that were recommended for non-renewal.
Okay.
So I'll make the motion that we accept the administration's recommendations to renew the contracts.
And I'll second that motion.
It's been motioned and second. Any questions?
I had a question. Could we have a copy of this, like a hard copy? Yeah, okay, just, I'd like to keep it in my phone thing so I can see who's where, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to get one too, Cindy, if you don't mind.
I just was going to make note, there's 9 and 3/4 month employees, 9-month assistant principals. So elementary are 9 month and middle school, high school are 9 3/4, just to clarify, that's right. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
And we have been talking as an executive team to make some adjustments to the 9-month elementary assistant principals. They do the evaluations and all those types of things that the middle school and high school principals, assistant principals do. So we have been discussing about giving them an index that the middle school and the high school assistant principals do. And the basic difference in the 9 3/4 and the 9 months, obviously it is a pay. The index is a little more significant than the index that's given to the assistant principals for elementary school.
And we would build that in the budget for a board approval for the next year.
Okay, I
Decide
was
to
wondering,
move
because I don't remember seeing that before. I just wanted to make sure I was seeing it right. Thank you.
Okay. Any further concerns? It's been motioned and second. So moved.
So-
Thank you.
You gonna vote?
Do we vote?
Not yet.
Online voting?
Online voting is.
Online voting? Cindy? Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Is there any other concerns for personnel?
I was just curious if we had any other major news, anybody else retiring we didn't know about yet, anything happened since last meeting?
As of 5/29, no administrators have retired yet.
Okay.
Ms. Janice, I do have a little
Yes.
information to share with the committee and ultimately the board. Good evening, everyone. Just 2 little housekeeping type items. Earlier this week, do I need to speak up? Earlier this week, we being HR, sent out an advertisement for a staff accountant in the Human Resources Department. And what we are planning on doing there is we've had an office assistant that has resigned, and we have one of our benefit specialists, which is leaving us. So what we would like to do, we'd like to take those 2 positions, combine them together, and turn it into a staff accountant for several reasons. One, we want this individual to be our backup to our payroll coordinator. Right now, if something happens and there's a flood and Ms. Rosa can't get to us or something to that effect, we have no one that can run payroll for us correctly. Also, we want someone that can give us another set of eyes to assist us in numbers related to sub-payroll, also in regular employee payroll, assist us with the budget. And when I mention this, I want you to quickly look at Mr. Snottlebach, because he's going to grin tremendously with this. There's a feature in Munis that's called position control. We've been paying for this, but haven't really been using it the way we need to. What our plan is this individual is going to oversee our position control. Simply what that means is for, let's say, for the 2021 school year, Amite Elementary will have X number of teaching positions, Y number of custodial positions, and so forth and so on. Once those numbers are set, the computer will be set to where no other person can be added to those positions without going through the position control process, which is approval by myself, Mr. Snotterbach, Ms. Stilley, and ultimately the board. So we think it's going to be a better way to do the future budgeting and to make sure that we are fiscally responsible with the money that we have been in the past. Already to date, with the two individuals that are leaving us, when you put those two salaries together, it is more than what we would pay this individual at the highest. And that's another reason we like to do this. With our online applicant system, we're going to be able to save some personnel issues with them having to do manual things. Literally when Mr. Vitter clicks the button, the paperwork will be sent to the individual to them to do it online and send it back to us. So those types of upgrades that we're doing electronically, we can take this person, combine it with this benefit specialist in an accountant form, and help our system to get a little bit more progressive and into the modern era, and just another set of eyes that is a numbers-trained individual to help us. So I just want to give you an update on that, and I'll take any questions if you have.
When does the assistant principal, what do we have out there right now? We're taking applications for.
This Friday, on the 19th, our assistant principal advertisements at Sumner High, Ponchatoula High, and Hammond High will end. Also, our principal ad for LaRonja High will end this week on the 19th. On the 25th, our assistant principal for Parent Early Learning Center will end. Those are the open administrative positions we have right now. Our plan is to have those interviewed and recommended to you by the July 7th meeting.
Round 3.
Is anyone using the online application process?
Yes, ma'am. It is going well right now. The principals are getting familiar with it. They're able to go through the list, and if they say, I want to recommend Stan Smith, they're able to click Stan Smith. That name is taken out and put into a queue. After Mr. Vitter verifies that that is a vacancy at the school, he presses the button, the hiring packet goes to Stan Smith. That information, when it comes back, is populated into the Munis payroll system that will eliminate a lot of hands-on possible errors that could be made. So yes, ma'am.
That's good. Can substitute teachers, people that are not substitutes already in our system, can they apply on there as well now?
Yes and no. They can apply for permanent jobs we have, but right now, that system is not set up to handle our sub.
Okay.
We're still doing that the old-fashioned way where they make an appointment, they come in on Mondays and Wednesdays at 10 for the in-service.
Okay, just following up. Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Tom?
Ms. Jenko, one more question on that. Typically, personnel meeting is not the same day as the board meeting.
Correct.
Right.
So we have some time there for the public to
Yes, sir.
see this, absorb it, and react. Moving forward, like in the July meeting, when we do those principles, are we going to allow ourselves a little bit more time between the two?
We would ask that for the July 7th meeting, that we bring them on the morning or the evening of July 7th and then bring them straight to the board, just due to the fact that that would be a principal at LaRonja High. If we waited to the 21st, that's kind of putting that person at behind the 8 ball, so to speak, and getting
Right.
their schedule ready and so forth.
But you can see my concern on that.
Yes, sir. There's no doubt. We do understand that, and we have talked about that, and we know with the principals we did last time, we have also, Dr. Caminita's already working on her schedule at Ponchatoula High. Ms. Shaughnessy is starting this coming Monday, the 22nd, to work at Sumner High. So imagine if we would not have been able to do it that way, they still would be in limbo to tonight.
Right.
In that. So we understand the concerns, but we feel that it's important to get them placed as quickly as possible for the start of the year. It's hard to believe it's June 16th already.
Okay. Any other questions?
One more thing, Ms. Janice, if that's okay with you.
That's fine.
And we will send this out, and hopefully you like the little texting that we're doing with the
Yes.
communication. And again, I apologize for the staff accountant slipping through. That's why I wanted to mention it tonight. We're working on some parish-wide curriculum facilitators. We have 8 schools that do not have help in the curriculum aspect. And we know what you're thinking is, well, we're going to take some of our best teachers and pull them out of the classroom so that they can do these particular jobs. And that is a very valid possibility that some of our better teachers will get this. What we would like you to think about is that one teacher, as we pull them out, they're going to be able to help, you know, a class or a school that has 30 teachers. Go to another school that has 25 or 30 more teachers. They're going to help build capacity with all of our schools that they go and touch. This will be federal funds, will not be general, be federal funds, and we will advertise it in a way that everyone understands, and it'll be written there, that if the federal funds, if we're not able to get them every year, then the position will be eliminated. Okay, so these individuals we'll divide them up among our 8 schools that do not have help, and they will go basically coach the teachers on curriculum, classroom management, et cetera. And, you know, first of all, I'd like to thank Ms. Stilley for the vision to see these types of things, and then Ms. Cece Lanier and Ms. Lisa Fussell for sitting down, crunching the numbers, and being able to put some money aside for us to do this federally.
And, you know, I'd add, Ron, that, Mr. Jenko, that, you know, with the high percentage that we have, one of the deciding factors for us on this particular item was, you know, when you have a fairly high number of uncertified teachers and or new teachers to the field, they need a lot of support. And so we have coverage at most of our schools. The majority of our schools either have someone either all day or part of the day, but we have 8 schools, I think it's 8, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a total void. So, you know, our goal is to support those teachers so that they stay with us and they can be successful with our children in the classroom. So that's kind of the rationale behind these support positions.
Can we go back to the staff accountant again? So in the past, you know, since I've been here a little while, we've used to get like job description that we actually had to vote on about. We did not get that. I mean, we're not going to get that, or?
The difference in this staff accountant and the one that works in accounting is that when they come up the stairs, they'll turn left and turn right. It's literally, it's going to be, I guess, depending on which side, you could argue that it's a new position, but technically it's not a new position. We're just taking them and moving them to the Human Resources Department with the same qualifications, the degrees, and so forth.
Okay, just want to make sure we follow the guidelines.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not a new job description.
No,
It's
ma'am.
just one that we already have.
We're repurposing it, we're
Yeah.
taking 2 positions and turning it into 1.
Okay, I just trying
Yes,
to,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And we've already done the curriculum facilitators in previous times. We've advertised for them. So this is a position we have already also.
okay.
I have one question.
Okay.
All right, and it's addressing something that's already been approved by the committee. But it is basically just the factor surrounding the TBD status for the effective date of the last 2 assistant
Yes, sir.
principals.
Mr. I can explain that to you.
Yeah.
Those 2 individuals are middle school, high school assistant principals. They work an additional 15 days. They get with the principal, and the principal and them work out, do I want to come 10 days before or 5 days, and then 5 days the next year after, or 5 days before, or 7, whatever configuration they have. So that's why we put to be determined there, so that them and the principal can work out the date and time for those 15 days.
Oh, okay, that's
Yes,
fine,
sir.
that's fine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Nothing else for personnel?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This concludes our personnel meeting.